Hey, my name's Jacqueline. Welcome to the Leo class of the Solar Series. This is a yoga class inspired by Leo energy. This is the time of the year that the sun passes through. It's the section of the sky that the sun passes through in the middle of the summertime. Today I have a guest star. His name is Willis. I'm cat sitting, and I thought that he might bring some extra Leo energy with me today. Leo is represented by the lion. It's a fixed fire sign. The signs in the middle of the season are fixed. They have this kind of persevering, pushing through energy. And fire is bright and bold and creative. When we think of Leo season, I often think about the evolution of Cancer into Leo. The peak of the year, I would say, is at the summer solstice, which is in Cancer season. But this time of the year often is associated with like a kind of perfectionism. We care so much and we want it to be perfect, and we get this like picky crab. And then we evolve into Leo season, and we kind of let go of this need for perfection, and just embrace what's happening. Courage is the evolution of fear. So it's not the opposite of fear. It doesn't exist without fear. We embrace what we are afraid of, and we do it anyways. So this is kind of what we're working with a little bit today. We're going to be doing some back bends to open up into the heart, broaden this space of the body, and we often are collapsed into the heart space, wanting to almost protect the heart. So when we do a back bend, we're doing the opposite. We're going into that kind of courageous place. And when you're ready, you can come and meet me here on the mat. Set yourself up however you like. If you'd like some blocks and props. And we'll start out in a child's pose today. So feel free to prop yourself up on any blocks or blankets. You can have the toes touching, and we'll keep the knees together for today. And we'll just sit our hips on our heels and bring the forehead down to the floor. So the hands could be up overhead, but today I'll ask that we bring the palms of the hands to face up alongside the body. So arms down by our sides, palms facing up. And once you're there, you can really just kind of let yourself get heavy, move around and make any adjustments that you need. So you can let go here. Just meeting ourselves exactly where we're at. You might notice the breath. Naturally, the breath deepens with awareness. Just watching, observing what the body does, and holding a bit of space to see how the body would like to express itself today, without judgment. See if you can narrow the breathing down to the nostrils. Maybe you can feel for the heartbeat. Relax into the shoulders, releasing any tension in the hands. Releasing the hips. Last 5 long deep breaths here. That's 3. 2. 1. Exhale. You can walk the hands underneath the shoulders when you're ready. And we'll press ourselves upright back into a seat, keeping the gaze nice and close to the body here. And the hands, palms face down over the knees, a sense of grounding. You might even close the eyes here. Find a nice tall spine. Setting our intention for moving here. And we'll connect the hands in front of the heart, right and left pressing into each other. And we'll rub the hands together, creating a little bit of friction here, creating some heat between the hands. And then we'll pause and place the hands over the eyes, just hovering over the face, feeling the heat from the hands, energy you've created. And then we'll come back, rubbing the hands together again. And then hover the hands over the ears, listening. Both ears in all directions, inside and out. And then we'll bring the hands together again, rubbing them together here. And we'll pause and just place them over the heart. Very nice. All right, bringing the soles of the palms of the hands back together. And go ahead and lean forward, bringing the hands to the floor, and we're just going to tuck our toes under from here. And you can sit the hips back towards the heels, bringing as much weight onto the heels as is manageable for today. You might just be slowly leaning the weight back. Maybe one day stacking the shoulders over the hips. We're going into the tension here. Breathing into it, accepting what's in the body. For 5. Deep breaths. 4. 3. 2. And 1. And then we'll bring the hands back down and untuck the toes. Be in a tabletop position here. Just rotate out the ankles. And then we'll bring the tops of the feet back down to the floor and sit back onto the hips. We'll just do a little side stretch from here. Bring the hands back together. Interlace the fingers. We'll flip the palms forward and then reach them up to the sky. So here you might find yourself flaring the ribs and kind of collapse in the spine. We're going to do the opposite. Hug the navel and the ribs in, tuck the tail under. So you've got a nice long column of the spine, and lift the shoulders up, up, up. And we'll try a few like that. Exhale to lower the shoulders down. Inhale, lift them up. Keep the navel and ribs hugged in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. One more. And lift. Stay lifting here, keeping the elbows straight, shoulders lifting. You might stay like this or lean it over to the right, get a little side stretch on the left side, come back to center, inhale, and try the left side. Again, inhale, to the right, inhale, and to the left. We'll come back to center, inhale. And then release the fingers and let them fall slowly down by your side. All right, we'll come into our tabletop position from here. And just do a couple little cat-cow movements here. Emptying the lungs, lifting the sitting bones up, pulling the heart through the hands. Hands pull back as the heart pulls forward, looking up. Memorize this shape. And exhale to round the spine, push the floor away, tuck the tail under, bring the forehead towards the pubic bone, navel in. Inhale to lift the sitting bones and the gaze. Exhale to round and crunch it in. 2 more like that. Inhale, big full breath, find the top. And exhale all the air out. All right, once you've had enough, we'll find our neutral spine from here. And we'll bring the fingers to face the long edges of the mat, pressing all the fingers and knuckles down. You can just lean it to the right and the left, getting a little stretch for the wrists here. Keep a micro bend in the elbows, just feeling what the floor feels like underneath the hands, accepting any new sensations here. If we'd like to move further into the wrist stretch, we could stay here, or we might bring the fingers to face towards the knees. So the wrists are kind of exposed out to the front here. Feeling all the knuckles pressing into the floor, slight micro bend in the elbows, and you might bring a bit of a cow tilt in the spine, in the sitting bones. Sitting bones lift up. Inhale to lean it forward, and exhale to lean it back. Inhales to come forward. As you lean back, the hands may come off the mat. Just feeling into this wrist stretch. One more. And back. Nice. Come back to the tabletop and get a counter stretch. Backs of the hands on the floor with the palms facing up. Fingers towards each other, and you can lean it side to side from here. Just a counter for the wrist stretch. You might even bend into the elbows and bring the chest towards the hands. And then we'll bring our hands back to neutral when you're ready. All right, from here, we're gonna lengthen the right leg down and back, tucking the toes under. So right leg is straight, toes tucked under, and find the hip points here. We wanna have even hip points, so a little bit right hip down, left hip back. So the sacrum is flat to the floor. And what points are touching the floor are evenly distributing the weight. So 2 equal hands and the knee. And you might stay like this, just kind of playing with it. Or we might lift the back leg so that it's parallel with the floor. Keep those even hips as best as you can. Kicking out with the lifted heel. We might reach the left arm forward. So opposite right arm and leg. Reaching, and we can inhale, reach here, and exhale, crunch it in. We'll just do one more like that. Inhale. Exhale, crunch. All right, inhale, reach it long. And then bring the left hand back down to the floor. We're gonna tuck the left toes under. Walk the hands about 1 hand distance forward, and then keeping the right leg lifted, we'll bend the elbows and bring the chest and chin down to the floor. Haul the air out, and then slither yourself forward, both feet down, hands back, heart forward. And then we'll pass through our tabletop again. It's like a mini version of a vinyasa. We'll try the other side when you're ready. So you could keep the right toes tucked under, or have the top of the right foot to the floor. We're gonna lengthen the left leg back and tuck the left toes under. So here we're just kind of wiggling out the hips, making sure everything's even distribution of weight between the hands and the knee and the hips. We might stay like this, or you could lift the left leg up off the floor, have it parallel with the ground, even distribution of weight. We might reach the right arm forward, so opposite arm and leg are reaching. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, connect the elbow and knee underneath you. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. We'll reach long again. And then lower the right hand down to the floor. Walk the hand about 1 hand distance forward. We'll tuck the back toe under. Inhale here, heart forward, and then bend the elbows. Connect the chest and chin to the floor. Slither forward. Inhale, both feet down, heart forward. And come back to tabletop. We'll lift the knees and come into our downward facing dog. So here we're upside down. You can walk it out, bending the knees, right, left, left, right. Let's point the right toes back behind you and then lift the right leg up and back. We'll open up into the hip and then bend the lifted knee. Try to embrace what's on the floor. You might get a rotation of the ankle here. And the other direction. And then we'll straighten that leg out, square the hips off. Round yourself forward to plank. Keep that leg lifted. And then lower the knee down. Bend the elbows, chest and chin down. Heart forward, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. All right, let's try the other side, lifting the left leg up and back. We'll open up the left hip, bend the left knee, and get a rotation of the ankle here. Upside down, embracing the heat. Let's lengthen out that left leg. Square off the hips again. Round yourself forward, shoulders over wrists into plank. Keep that left leg lifted. And then lower the right knee down. Bend the elbows and connect the chest and chin to the floor. Haul the air out. Slither forward. Both feet down, heart forward. Then pass through a table to come into downward facing dog again. All right, our little back bend sequence. We'll lift the heels up, bend the knees, look forward. You can tiptoe, walk, step, or hop your way up to the front of the mat. Half lift when you get there, inhale. And fold over the legs, bend the knees as much as you need. Haul the air out. Reach forward and up, look up, inhale, stand. And hands to heart, exhale. Reaching up, inhale. Fold in, exhale. Half lift, inhale. Step the feet back to plank and lower down, exhale. Heart forward, inhale. And downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths here. 4, 3, 2. Last one, breath in, heels lift, bend the knees, look forward, tiptoe, walk, step, or hop your way up to the front of the mat. Feet hips width distance, half lift, inhale. Fold in, exhale. Stand up, inhale, reach up. And prayer pose, exhale. Reach up, inhale. Dive forward and down, exhale. Half lift, inhalation. Step back and lower it down. Heart forward, inhale. Downward facing dog on the exhale. 5 breaths. Embrace the floor. Feel the ground underneath you. Feel your body working. Last 2 breaths here. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, tiptoe, walk, step, or hop your way up. Half lift, inhale. fold in, exhale. Reach forward and up, standing, inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. All right, we'll bring our hands down by our side. Just take a moment to stand in Tadasana, embracing that heat that we're building in the body here. We'll bring the hands together in the front of the heart, and then just bend the knees into a chair pose. So weight is back in the heels. Feeling strong, powerful legs. We might just twist ourselves to look over the right shoulder, keep the hips as they are, and then come back to center. Twist to the left. Inhale to center. To the right. Inhale. To the left. Back to center, inhale. Reach up. And then stand up, hands to heart. And hands by our side. We're going to do an eagle pose next, reaching the arms out and up, touch the palms. We'll swing the right arm underneath the left. Look for opposite shoulders. Give yourself a little hug like this. Maybe walk the hands a little further. You might keep yourself in this hugged position, left arm over the right. Maybe backs of the hands come together. Maybe the fronts of the hands come together for a little bind. We'll lift the elbows up, inhale, and squeeze them down on the exhale. Bend into the knees. Lift the right leg up and cross it over the left. You might use your foot as a little kickstand outside the left standing foot, or you might try to sneak those toes around the standing calf. Keep the navel in, just playing with the balance for 5, 4, 3, squeezing the inner thighs, 2. We'll release the legs, keep the arms, send the right leg back behind you as you tip forward, coming into a T shape with the body. And then we'll bend the standing leg and bring the right foot all the way to the back end of the mat. So we're in a crescent lunge here. The eagle arms. And then we're gonna open out to the right side, landing the right foot down. Warrior 2 with the legs, and then we'll release the arms into Warrior 2. So the arms are reaching in opposite directions. We're feeling the floor underneath us. Back foot's parallel with the back end of the mat. The left toes are pointing forward. We're committed to the lunge in the front leg. And then let's flip the front palm and get a side stretch by lifting the arm up and back, exalted warrior. Then we'll come back to Warrior 2. Inhale to flip up. Exhale, Warrior 2. One more, flip up. And Warrior 2. We'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. Face that front leg again, come up on the back toes, and we'll just step the feet together into standing. Beautiful. Okay, we'll bring the hands down by our side. We're gonna try the other side. Reaching the arms up, touch the palms, look up, and then swing the left arm underneath the right. So the right arm is over the left here. You can hold on to opposite shoulders, giving ourselves a little hug, squeezing the elbows together. Maybe backs of the hands come together. Maybe fronts of the hands come together. Wherever you are is just perfect. We're squeezing tight. Inhale, lift the elbows up. And exhale, squeeze them down. We'll bend into the knees. Lift the left leg up and cross it over the right. Sneaking those toes behind the standing calf. Squeezing the inner thighs together. Wringing out the body here. When we release, we have fresh blood that floods these places. Start to unravel the legs, send the left leg back behind you as you tip forward, coming into a T shape with the body. And then bend the standing leg and send the left toes back behind you, coming into a crescent lunge, so up on the back toes. And we're going to open up to the left side, landing the heel down so the foot is parallel with the back end of the mat, and we're in our warrior two legs. The right knee is bent, the left leg is straight, and we'll release the arms out to either side. Look to the middle finger on the right hand. Feel the breath moving through you. When you're ready, we'll flip the front palm, exalt the warrior side bend, and warrior two. Two more, flip up, and return. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, warrior two. We'll bring the hands together in front of the heart, pivot towards the front foot, lift up on the back toes, and then step the feet together into standing again. Reach the prayer upwards, inhale, and dive it forward and down, exhale. Half lift inhalation. Step it back to plank pose, and we're just gonna pause here. We'll bring the right hand underneath the nose, roll over onto the right side for a side plank. You can keep the feet staggered. You might lower the bottom knee down to the floor for extra support. Stay at a place where you can breathe. You might even lift the left leg up. You could bring the sole of the left foot to the inner right leg. We might even step this left foot back behind and flip ourselves into a wild thing, little back bend. And then we'll come back into our plank pose, nice and slow. Bring the left hand underneath the nose and roll over onto the left side. So same thing, lots of variations. Could keep the bottom knee down to the floor, stagger the legs. Maybe the sole of the right foot comes to the inner left leg for a tree variation with the legs. You may even like to step the right foot back behind you and flip the arm overhead, coming into a back bend. Slowly bring yourself back into plank pose. Inhale there, and then lower the knees down, bend the elbows, chest and chin come down. Heart forward, inhale. And return to downward facing dog, exhale. Take your final little moments upside down here. When you're ready, we'll bring the knees down to the floor. And we'll just send the hips back towards the heels. Bring the forehead down. Arms stay up overhead this time to revisit the child's pose. All right. When you're ready, we'll walk ourselves back into a kneeling position, bringing the shoulders over the wrists. And we're going to finish up here with 3 lion's breaths before we come down onto our back. So lion's breath is a forceful exhalation out of the mouth. We extend the tongue from the base to the tip, so all the way out, and we look up at the same time. So it's a little something like this. The hands are down over the knees. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. You lean forward as you exhale. Really expressive kind of lion's roar. It feels silly, but it can be really nice to let out any stuck things in the body. So we'll try 3 together. Inhale deep. Exhale. 2 more. Last one. Very nice. All right, let's slip onto our butts. Sitting down on the bum here. We'll just do 1 forward fold before we come down onto our backs. I know I promised the back, but we'll just do 1 quick forward fold. So keep the knees nice and bent here. The feet are up, the toes point up, and the feet are all in the same line. So keep all of the toes in the same line, big toe all the way to the pinky if you can. We'll inhale to reach the arms up. And then hold on to the big toes with the peace sign fingers and the thumbs. So you've got a grip on the big toes here. The knees are bent. You can pull into the feet with the hands and then push into the fingers with the toes. So we've got two opposing kind of actions happening here. Connection with the stomach and the thighs. We're pushing the heart forward, prioritizing a nice long spine over the length of the legs. And if this is super easy for us, we might start to walk the heels a little further away from us, but don't lose the connection with the stomach and the thighs. We want to keep the stomach and the thighs together, keep that active bind by pulling the toes back and pushing the toes into the hands. For 3, shoulders away from the ears, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and release. And we're gonna do a twist from seated, actually. Keep promising that we'll come down onto the back. We'll bend the left knee, bring the left foot onto the floor. And then we'll bring the left foot outside of the right knee. You can keep this leg straight, the right leg straight, or you might bend the right ankle outside of the left hip. So you've got kind of this wrapped up shape with the knees. And then we'll hold on to the lifted knee, the left knee, and start to twist over towards the left. You might stay here or reach the left arm up and place it back behind you like a second spine. Inhale, right arm up. And the elbow could hook outside of that lifted knee. Inhale to reach tall. Exhale to twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist, twist, twist. And go ahead and release. So we'll keep the legs as they are, just to counter twist, bringing both hands outside of the right hip, looking over the right shoulder. And then we'll come back to center and we'll do the other side, keeping both legs straight now. We'll bend the left knee, bring the left foot outside of we're bending the right knee and we'll bring the right foot outside of the left leg. And then you might stay with the left leg long, right knee bent, or you could bend the left knee so the foot comes outside of the hip. As long as both sitting bones are on the floor, we want to keep both sitting bones rooted down. We're going to hug onto this lifted knee and start to twist over towards the right side. We'll inhale, reach the right arm up and place it back behind you like a second spine. Maybe left arm reaches up. And the elbow might hook outside of the lifted knee. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale to twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Twist, twist. We'll go ahead and release. Counter twist. Keep the legs, both hands outside of the left hip, looking over the left shoulder. And then we'll unravel here, straighten out the legs, and we'll just lower ourselves down onto the back. You might bring the knees into the chest for a little hug here. You can open up the knees towards the armpits, the sides of the body, pulling the knees down towards the armpits, and keep the whole spine on the floor all the way down to the tailbone. A little rotation for the ankles here if you're feeling it. This is a half happy baby. And if there's anything else in your practice that you're looking for to wind down or heat back up again, you're welcome to take it. From here, I'll allow us to relax into our final resting pose. This is where we'll close the class, holding some space for the body to integrate what it's learned and rest, letting go of what no longer serves us. Feeling yourself here like a pool of water. Thank you so much for joining me today for this short practice. Have a beautiful rest of your day and go in peace. Thank you.